Hey, Joshua. Gone
Hey,
ahead and started it, so we're just going to give a minute for everyone. Josh, I know you're on site right now. Are you able to move maybe to a different room? Because you do have a lot of background noise where you're at.
give me a second. Not quite, but yeah, let me work on. I was about to ask you how the background noise was.
Yeah, there's a little bit. If you're just joining us, we're still going to give it another minute or two just for some more of our users to come in, give everybody a chance to join.
Is that any better?
Yeah, that's much better. Okay, we will go ahead and kick it off. This will be recorded, so if you need to drop early or if you are joining us watching the recording, we'll be able to answer any questions throughout the webinar, or you will have my email afterwards. Feel free to shoot me any questions and we will get some answers for you. So welcome to the September office hours. Happy Tuesday or unhappy Tuesday if you're a Bengals fan like me. We skipped the office hours in August because we were at Ignite. Looking at our attendee list here, we actually got to meet a couple of you and talk. So that was really exciting. So we do have 2 months worth of updates to bring you and demo for you today. So without further ado, we will jump in. We got our usual crew here, although I don't see Chris, but Kelsey, product marketing manager for PropertyIntel, and Joshua Martin, manager of product for PropertyIntel. We might have Chris jump on here soon. If not, you've likely talked to him before, and we'll probably talk to him in the future. So today, as usual, we will cover the new features and improvements since our last office hours. Joshua will take us through a demo. We will look at an updated roadmap preview, and then we'll have some dedicated time at the end for open Q&A. As always, use the Q&A feature down in your Zoom controls throughout the webinar, and we will do our best to address those as we're able. And if not, then we'll handle them at the end. So jumping into new features since the last office hours, Joshua, do you want to take us away?
Yeah, happy to. So some of the things that we just are planning and release that are available today, and then we'll have further communications about those coming Thursday. They include a lot of improvements around our group management and then just the overall usability of that within projects. And so what that means is we did some things to improve just your overall user experience, such as being able to quickly add items directly to a group. Previously, whenever you wanted to add a new item onto a project, you had to add that item, and then it was the drag and drop to be able to drag and drop it into a new group. And so we added a context menu, which is that little ellipsis 3-dot menu that's on every group, to where you can just quick add an item directly to that group versus having to do that kind of add and drag and drop. Also, kind of staying in that area, we're populating new groups that you add to the bottom of your list, so you don't have to reorder those. And that's just an improvement that was asked for by a lot of different users. And then also with adding groups to a specific project, we're previewing for you all those items that are in that group. So in the past, there was no real preview. It's just kind of the title when you were choosing to use a group. Didn't really show you what items would also get added whenever you pick to use that group. And so we're just showing you that in the modal whenever you select a particular group, so you know what items that are getting added to a particular project. The last thing related to that, it has to do with when you are reassigning shapes to a different item. And so we had just a bad user experience to where if you had items that had the same names, for instance, if you were measuring an apartment complex that had buildings 1, 2, and 3, and and those buildings were all groups. Well, your items within those groups would be the same because you're measuring the same thing for each building. So if you had the turf and you were wanting to move that to another group, it was a challenge because when you selected a particular shape and picked the drop down to be able to move it, it would just show up turf 3 different times. You didn't really know which turf you were moving that to. So the improvement we had is whenever you're doing those changing items to different types, we are showing you the group as kind of a subtext underneath the particular item. So it just really makes it clear which item you're moving that to. We also focused in on our market view and adding just some overall improvements, actually kind of highlighted some of those in what I was telling you before. But probably the largest add was a new tool. We added a split tool. And so in your top toolbar, you can see there's a new tool that's actually there. And it's a split tool, which allows you to just draw a single line. So click once, move over, click again. And what will happen is we will split then all the different shapes on that line, creating generally, 2 shapes out of one. And the split tool works for both shapes and lines. So that's a big improvement because previously you could kind of work around that and divide up shapes using our cutout tool. But the cutout tool did not work for line shapes, but with the split tool, it works for lines too. So lots of different usages with that tool. We're excited to get it out and get it in the hands of everybody. And we've got a lot of really good, also just early feedback from people using those. And then overall, I mean, there was just other just general improvements. So we did some improvements. We've done some improvements with our Aspire integration, fixing various bugs, doing some stuff within the catalog as well, to such as bulk actions and archiving catalog items as you're managing those things. And I don't know that we highlighted mobile, but one of the things that we're doing really over the next 12 to 18 months is continuing to improve the mobile experience of using PropertyIntel, being able to pull it up on your mobile device and have a optimized view for it. And so we did a number of things with mobile, with just navigating around the application itself, being able to view your projects list as a much more pleasant experience. And then if you're going to create a new project, it's a mobile first solution for that. So whenever if you're going to kind of go through a new project creation flow, it works great enough to fully optimize mobile view. That's it.
So I'm going to turn off my share, Joshua, so you can take over.
Okay. Okay. So just quickly to highlight some of those things that got included. So again, most of it had to do with the markup view. I'll go into this just sample project to show you. And so you can see kind of starting with the group management things. When I go into use a group, if I select a particular group, then it's going to preview for you all those group contents. So these would be the things that are getting added in to your project whenever you were to add this group to your list. And then also if I apply that group, you'll see previously it populated that group at the top, but what we're doing is automatically putting that group in at the bottom so that you don't have to worry about having to drag and reorder those things. And then one of those other things related to that was, like I mentioned, this more options menu, which allows you to duplicate the group. You can delete it fully, but then also you can quickly add an item. So you don't have to add an item to your list and drag it into the group that you want. You can just go straight to that group, click add item. We'll pull up your catalog, and you can easily just add an item directly to that group, and it will be populated at the bottom of that group list for you. It's a very useful feature, functionality, and just makes it just a better experience using groups. The item related to being able to move items, move different things around to other groups. So if I click on, I'm in selection mode, I'm going to click on this particular shape. And then this is how you move stuff around. So if you wanted to reclassify a specific shape to another item that's in your list, that you would do that through this drop down. And so previously this stuff you couldn't see that things were in different groups. So if I had two concrete items in this list, we would not have distinguished it, but you can see now where these are pulled up here, common areas, so you know which item you would be moving that. So here's a good example here where sidewalks are in both the common areas and in the snow groups. So it allows you to easily just move it around and know where you're going to be reclassifying that shape to which particular item. And then if we want to look at our split tool, can show that. So kind of we've got these two shapes here. So this is the split tool. It's in the top. Again, it's just simply splitting it along that axis that you were to draw. And so to activate it, you're just going to click the tool. And then you can just simply click once, move down to wherever you want to split it, and click again, and it will apply that split. And so now you can see, when we turn off the tool, you can see how these are now two different shapes. And then also the line segment was split down that line too. So, really useful feature. I think one of the common cases people have is they do a takeoff and they need to phase out the job. And so they have a lot of different shapes that are in different areas. And so they want to kind of draw quadrants or whatever it may be to phase it out. They can easily do that with the split tool. Another is maybe you measured the whole turf area and you need to go in and divide out some things that may have to get push mowed or flat trimmed because you can't access it with your normal service mower. And so the split tool makes that easy because you can lop off that section of the shape that you need to reclassify as maybe push mowing and easily do that there. A lot of the other things aren't too much able to really demo with the Aspire integration items, but did want to hop over to the catalog and can show that and show some of those there. And so what was added to the catalog is this archive catalog item. So now you're able to archive a catalog item, and then it also would show up in this archive list. So if you needed to re-add it, you can do that there. We did also for Aspire users, we made a change with in your catalog these tabs. Previously, this tab said all, which was confusing because it wasn't really all of your catalog items. It was just the PropertyIntel specific catalog items. And so we just relabeled this tab to be able to show that and further distinguish that. And then what we do have work in progress that's about to enter into testing is doing bulk actions within your catalog that you're able to do, like bulk archive, especially, and being able to kind of help curate your list for these items that would end up getting used within a particular project. So I'm actually hop over one more thing, Kelsey, before we move on to the next section related to maps that I did not highlight. It's a small thing, but it's useful for people. But within projects, you'll notice down here in the bottom right, or bottom left, excuse me, including a compass. So you can kind of have some directional context to how the map is focused. We didn't previously show that. You didn't really know how the map was oriented, but now we do have that compass, so you're able to kind of tell if you have a particular map rotated around. And so you can see, whenever I rotate around, how that compass changes and give you an idea of north, south, east, and west. Really useful. Small thing, but helpful for a lot of people. I think that will be kind of wrap up the demo section.
I will grab that. Okay, and then jumping into the roadmap.
Yep. So a lot of number of things coming up. We really have. So I think some of the two things that we just rolled off are bulk orders for PI Complete. We are kind of slowly rolling that out fully for a lot of our larger enterprise organizations that are using PI Complete a lot. And so I did want to call that out here, just kind of in the roadmap section, that if you are interested in using the bulk order feature and you don't have that enabled for your account, to just, if you will submit a support ticket, we can turn it on for you, and you can start using that in your bulk order order process. So, but again, things that we're continuing to do, where we are focusing right now, we're wrapping up so those market view and like you said, the multi-selection and bulk enhancement actions, continuing to improve PDF performance. We've got a number of things, just continuing to make PDFs faster, quicker to upload, quicker to navigate around as you're doing takeoffs using those things. And so we've got some stuff that's pretty well wrapped up, about to release to make those better. We've done a lot on those this year to try to make those faster and better. The other piece is probably one of our larger efforts this year is collaborative editing. And so that it's going to take a number of months, but it is really the next big thing that we're kicking off with the team. We've done a lot of pre-work on it, some R&D work, and so getting into the actual implementation this month with it. And so it's going to take several months. We do anticipate having it rolled out by the end of the year. But collaborative editing is going to give you that ability to have multiple people working in the project at the same time, to where you can tackle a large takeoff together and be making changes and all that. Each person's changes updated and saved in real time. Also, if you needed to hop in, maybe if you might be collaborating remotely with colleagues, you can both kind of hop in and view a project together and see what's going on. So got an effort planned around improving some of our exports. That's really focused on the quality, especially on those, being able to have a higher resolution export. You've seen some things already go in this year related to generating PDFs and moving some of that PDF export to a background task, so it doesn't block you or have some of those timeout errors, but doing a little bit more as well related to the image quality, especially for that plan view export, which is a popular feature that people are using, where we have a dedicated effort to really increase the quality for those. Because today those really are more or less they're a screenshot of the project. And so sometimes that resolution can be hindered by the zoom level that you are whenever you take that capture view. And so we'll be improving that with that. Adding in site audit and inspection workflow that'll kind of use our reference map feature on properties to do that. And then spending a good bit of time as well towards the end of this year with image editing improvements. So we've got some basic feature functionality for creating those as you see it type views, perspective views for landscape designs, enhancements that you're doing on a property. So just doing more for that to really build out that feature set to make that a whole lot more compelling as you're creating those views for customers and selling and pitching ideas to them, looking to upsell and create enhancements based off of that. And then there's really those last three things with production modeling, drone platform integration, and autonomous mower. We're doing a lot of planning around. Some of those involve kind of using some AI to be able to do some things related to it, but then also taking and being able to use drone imagery and all the data that's often associated with those, as well as like I mentioned, around doing some things using AI to show you kind of if you're using autonomous mowers, helping you to prospect sites for their compatibility with certain mowers, and being able to see where time savings might be available, or how much of a given property can be addressed with a specific autonomous mower. So a lot of really fun, cool stuff on the horizon.
Awesome. Thanks, Joshua. That is all from us today, unless there are any questions. I don't see any waiting for us in the Q&A, but I'll give it a minute or so for that to come in. If not, we will receive a recording of this afterwards. And as always, feel free to shoot me any questions that come up. But thank you for joining us today, Joshua. Thank you for being able to jump on while you're on site and very busy and very slammed. But in the meantime, we will see you in October. And encourage you to reach out. I put this in our insider email, which this month you'll receive on Thursday in 2 days. Please, if you'd like to meet and give us any feedback, positive, negative, constructive, wherever you're at, please feel free to shoot me an email. I love talking to our customers and being able to hear from you guys and share that feedback directly with Joshua and our product team. So if you have any thoughts at all, please don't hesitate to respond to that insider email or the recording one that I'll send you later today. I'd love to be able to chat with you guys. So I guess that's all for us today. Thank you again, and we will see you in October.